Alright, looks like things are just about getting started. Today we are casting vgma versus Banazama. Already dropping frames, that can't be a good sign. Looks like the draft portion of the match will be underway shortly. Looks like vgma gets to go first. I think both these players are 0-1. I don't know. I didn't catch either of their matches last week, actually, so I don't know if they're 1-0 if they're 0-1. But looks like VG must pick a character. Banzama now gets to pick two characters. VG Mod gets to pick two characters, and the Banzama gets to round it out. Two characters must be from Season 7, and one character can be from any other Season 4, 5, or 6, not as long as they're not named Carmine. Looks like Vijima has first picked Leo, and Banazama has picked Sol and Kai, the kind of just the two starter characters, interestingly enough. VGMA's picked May, and what looked like a Season 5 character. Did not catch what character that was. And Banazama will round out his roster with who? Banazama is also a TM on Steam, by the way. Banazama rounds out his roster with Hazama. Okay. Interesting. So it looks like two Season 5 tech characters will be in this one. Now the players have to pick their order. Again, it has to be the Season 5 characters that the two players have picked cannot go up against each other, so it has to be one pure Season 7 match and two Season 5 versus Season 7 matches, interestingly enough. So hopefully we will be underway shortly. Let me actually go ahead and post a link to my channel in the Discord. So I think of the characters that I've not casted before, I think May for VGMA I've not casted before. Kai I meant to cast before, but I have a long set of Kai. I casted a long time, or I played a long time ago versus a Kai, or versus Rose's Kai. Never actually got around to posting it, but it's available. Looks like the order for Banazama is Kai, Hazma, Sol. Vijima has not revealed his order yet. Don't know what they're doing here. vgma's third character is actually going to be Bang. So obviously can't have Bang versus Hazma. So looks like it's going to be Leo versus Kai, Mei versus Hazma, and then Bang versus Soul. It's going to be the three matches that we have for today. And we'll take a look at Kai. So Kai, when he cancels, he may just move one. Very, very potent, actually. Like, very, very good positional character. On backside, he actually draws one as well. So I think the level 99 guide written by Rose says she doesn't exceed a whole lot. I personally am of the opposite ilk. I exceed all the time as this character. I think exceeding on this character is extremely, extremely strong. And it's something that I go for generally right away over playing the Ultras. But I guess you can play Ultra style as well. Leo is the character we actually just saw yesterday. Is the Wild Swing character on backside. So when he stuns the opponent, he gets to exceed. And when he exceeds, his Wild Swing is at +1/+1. And they do so until he reverts. Take a look at Kai's kit here real quick. So you have a 1-4, 4-5 shape here that has the sweep property at range 4. Very good card. Oh, you have a DP shape with after advance 3. So it crosses over the opponent as opposed to really evading things. We have a dive-like here that actually hits at range 5. A little bit of guard on it. We have a mid-speed attack here, range 2, similar to a donkey kick or what have you. This is a kick shape, right? With a little bit of a push, so it speeds a card like sweep. We have a slow guarded fireball in stun edge that can also has a mid speed property range 2, gives you +2 power gain advantage. We have what is essentially Sagat's Ultra Tiger Cannon for 4 gauge, and we have Ride the Lightning, which is like a very slow but very reliable dive. Hits 1 to 5. Both of these cards only getting you advantage. The boost kits. Lots of cancelable boosts here, right? So you can draw 2 cancel, you can boost power speed, or power range cancel, you can boost speed cancel, and you can even key charge cancel just to move 1 with the UA. And for Leo, we have fast dive here. We have this card, which becomes absolutely nuts when you wild swing it on backside. Goes 1 to 3, 6, 6. As we see, Leo prep and Kai boost faultless defense. We have kind of a slowish 1 to 3 here, but also makes you revert, interestingly enough. We have slow fireball. We have like slow, really slow counterattack shape here. We have ultra that can go up to 10 speed, and then we have an ultra that is a range dodge here for Leo. So it's going to be interesting to see this matchup. I don't think I've ever played this matchup before. Kai definitely a little bit more position sensitive than Leo, but obviously has the means to be change positions offered. It's actually going to be using these weird normals, but it's going to be a parry coming out here for vgma. Looks like the parry's going to whiff. I wonder what's parried here. I would assume it is the Ultra. Thunder Seal, I think, is a really good boost, and looks like we see a hand of 026. I was gonna say Fondue. Fodeur arc, I believe is how you pronounce that. Dire Eclats. Dire Eclat, I don't know. Is the T silent? Maybe. And the Sacred Edge. So we don't know what was parried, but I would assume it could be Sun Dipper, I guess. Or it could be the Ride the Lightning. So anyway, vgma draws for end of turn. The faultless defense hits gauge at start of turn. And it's back to Banazama here. Nobody doesn't really have the dominant, actually doesn't have a mix-up at range 4 at all. Normally Kai has a bit of a mix-up at range 4 just because he has a couple cards that hit, right? He has the Stun Edge. He has the Dive. He has this jank dive, and he has the stun dipper, which is the performs similarly to a fast dive, but not with the hand reveal, of course. Looks like it's going to be a boost of Faith. That's +1 speed, +3 guard. Notably, one of the 2 boosts for Kai that cannot be cancelled. So it makes the Footer Arc speed 5. Adds a little bit of extra guard on it as well. So now 6 guard means that it survives something. It doesn't get stunned by something like EX Dive. Although, if EX Dive were to come out, that would miss. Or that would make this card miss on offense, so... But +1 speed, it's nothing. It's not a bad boost by any means. Back to Leo here. Of course, this is Season 7, so we don't have to worry about no normals in hand. Reading is not an option for any character in Season 7 besides Angie. There's going to be no Angie today. We saw Angie yesterday. If you want some boring Angie gameplay, go check out yesterday's video. So it's going to be expenditure of 2 force in the form of at least Stall Verbal to move to range 2, and it's an interesting one. I really like these boosts, but... not for vgma. It's going to be Kai boosting the Let's Rock, draw 1, and add this to gauge. Interestingly, Kai is a boost similar to Let's Rock in the shock state, except this one gains you advantage instead of adding to gauge. But this is, of course, on the range 4 option, although we're not in range 4 anymore. So, now, of course, the quote-unquote dominant option would be speed 7 cross for Banazama. Of course, that can get countered by a card like a Gravierte Verde, which is... slow guarded fireball, so obviously it catches cross. We see the Ukemi come out. It's going to tech the grass boost. So leaving the speed in play, but teching the grass boost. Back to Banazama here. Banazama looks like he's going to be drawing 2 and canceling. Moving back 1. That's technically not the right order. Technically, he can draw 2 and then pick where he wants to go. But it looks like always wants to go to range 3 with the +1 speed, +3 guard. Picks up his cards and is going to be setting a strike. +1 speed with the range 3 mix-up, of course. And sets a singular card. Kai doesn't really have very many also like great range 3 options. I mean, Sundipper's on curve, but doesn't get the ability. Footer Arc crosses over. But it's just going to be the on-curve dive. Goes first, will hit for 5. And vgma sweep will be unable to hit back, of course, because dive crosses over the opponent. Leo takes 5 damage, and that's the first hit of the game going to Kai. Although Kai did spend a gauge to do so, so only builds to the 1 gauge. Leo immediately says, okay, I'm just going to set a strike here. Has be normal, I guess could be like that, to exceed. It's just going to be vgma playing Grasp, and Kai plays Defensive Focus. So, I don't know, that's an interesting strike. I don't know why you strike with Grasp there. Maybe you strike with Grasp there because you see the opponent has a cross, and you're like, okay, the opponent is like pretty incentivized to cross out of my slow, but Kai just says, okay, I mean, I have 4 unknown cards in hand, let me just play Focus. I think Banazama needs to shuffle his hand, though. So anyway, that's going to be gauge number 2 built for Kai. First damage is a game for Leo, but Kai with an early health point advantage. Notably, exceeding here is not fantastic for Kai, just because he would overdraw, so maybe he wants to spend a card from hand, cancel, and then do something else along those lines first before exceeding. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be the Badass. Gets canceled. And it's going to be boosting the Shock State. So it's going to be drawing 2 cards. So it's going to be EX on the board, gain advantage on the board, and then +1 power on top of that. So pretty nasty boost up for Kai. And it's going to be Leo going to be boosting the Brynhildr stance. Exceeding at no cost, adding the card to gauge and taking another action. Of course, Leo on front side has has this ability, right? +1/+1. It's going to be a area shift, push or pull 2. The opponent was pulled past you, adds to your gauge. And assumingly it's going to be a strike. Looks like it's going to be your wild swing's at +2 speed and a wild swing. Okay, so +2 speed, of course, important because otherwise speed 7 cross would just own for Kai. It's be Kai playing sweep, and okay, that was close, right? So this is an EX sweep, so technically it would have gone first without the +2 speed on it. So of course, Leo's sweep will go first. We'll hit for what, 6 after armor, and then Kai's sweep will go second and hit for what, 8 damage. Because Leo has no armor. So big hit there. Both players have to discard a card, of course, from their hands. And it is now back to Kai. Kai can now exceed if he wants. That was a big hit there. It's me Kai boosting Let's Rock instead of exceeding. Maybe Kai thinking of going for Ultras this game instead of exceeding. Or maybe wants to exceed next turn, I don't know. Maybe the Banazama is not the type to exceed. I know I personally am the type to exceed almost right away as Kai. And play a more cancel heavy game. But maybe Banazama prefers those Ultra shapes instead. Because those Ultra shapes are pretty nasty, right? This is just dominates just so many different options at speed 6, and then you get to choose your range afterward. So you get to dodge basically any counterattack. And this card is just 8 delta, right? Super reliable. Only loses to like dive and spike at close range. But it's gonna be just Leo initiating a wild swing here. Reminder, +1/+1 on that wild swing. So something like Assault on Curve. This card is particularly scary. The Blitzschlag. Kai notably does have an above curve option at range 2, right? He has DP and Vapor Thrust. But it's going to be Banazama attempting to cross out, but Leo wild swings Assault at speed 6 will break the speed tie. Will hit Kai for 5 and gain advantage. For vgma, don't see why you wouldn't just wild swing again. Maybe there are 2 spikes in the deck. One Gravitative Verde is down. Leo's cards generally hit at 1, but they're all like mid-speedy at 1, except for a couple of them. Right, in that they're undercurve, unguarded options, but I think Kai actually has both of his grasps down, since they're both boosted as Let's Rock, so Leo actually has a bit of a speed advantage here. Chooses to prepare, however. And of course, since he ended his turn without striking, has to revert. Kai prepares as well, so Kai definitely not going for this exceed option, going for the Ultras, I'm assuming. Or maybe just going to use these as cancels without drawing. To be boosting Hail to the King, drawing 2. Will vgma cancel this? I mean, Sun Immunity is a pretty good boost to pair with Wild Swings. Although Leo does not have the Wild Swings anymore, so you would need to boost the second copy of the Brynhildr Stance to get into it. Looks like Leo just going to be striking from hand. Something like an Assault makes sense. Zweitskaut's Gestober also makes sense here as well. It's an Assault that basically lets you exceed. So we'll go first. We'll hit for 1. Focus will hit back for 4, but Leo gets to exceed at the end. Fortunately, Leo does not have a whole bunch of life to work with, down 9 to 17 at this early juncture, but has advantage. I mean, now's as good a time as any to get a lucky Wild Swing chain going. Unfortunately for Leo, both copies of Stalverbo are down. Oh wow, it's actually going to be Leo initiating a strike from hand. Interesting. That's super interesting. I wonder what this could be. If it's initiating a strike from hand. I think Kai is just super incentivized to DP here. So I'm hoping that this isn't Spike or like a... I'm hoping that this is a slow, but what slow gets you advantage if you're a Leo? I don't really know, because I just feel like... I just feel like Kai mashes DP. Kai's drawn so many cards. Surely he has DP in hand. So I'm hoping this isn't something like Spike. For vgma here. Banazama taking his time this strike. Wow, okay. It was the dust. And it catches the block, so I guess I'm wrong there. There's going to be what, 5 damage? 5 damage dust. Pretty shocking dust there, in my opinion. I just felt like that had no... There's no way that dust should have hit. But for some reason it did hit. But for... Whoops, I've opened the stream by accident. I did not mean to do that. Hopefully that doesn't echo on for too long. I just kind of wanted to open the chat here. Okay, also vgma took, or Banazama. What I was doing... Okay. There was not. I just want to make sure there was no like +2 power on the dust there. So part of the reason I actually opened my stream was I wanted to make sure what health total Banazama was at before the strike. He was at 17, so should be at 12 instead of 10. Don't want to be missing simple things like that. I don't want to be missing simple things like that. That would feel pretty bad. Anyway, it's Banazama's turn again. Yeah, I just feel like this dust had no reason. This dust had no reason to hit. But it did. So I mean, hey. Sometimes you don't have the option, right? It's gonna be Hope boosted, cancelled. Kai moves into range 1. And boosts Be Just or Be Dead. +1 speed after the opponent's stunned, even if they're faster, draw 1. Interesting. So this counteracts the speed from Leo's Wild Swing, should vgma choose to Wild Swing. Why is that card so pixelated? You see that? That background is really pixelated. Huh. Anyway, it's going to be Leo boosting Pride. That's going to be move 1 or 2. Certainly is going to be cancelled. We'll cancel it. And it has 1 card left in hand. But surely Leo just Wild Swings, no? I mean, you're matching speed, but Kai is like playing like he doesn't have DP. Although maybe Kai just like really expected a slow in that last combat. vgma initiates the last card from his hand. So Kai has +1 speed on this combat. Reminder, there's a range dodge here. That is an option. It's speed 0. And it is the range dodge, but Banazama calls it out with the on-curve assault, which will go first. We'll hit for 4, and of course, the latent shaft, this Dear Genton, gets stunned out. That is an unfortunate play for vgma, going for 1 too many saucy plays. Loses all of his gauge for it. It's going to be Kai boosting that shock state, rebuilding the hand a little bit, and getting a little bit of power and advantage on his next strike. Leo just has to prep. Does not believe in the heart of the cards. So, second time now, Leo does not believe in the heart of the cards and just chooses to prep instead. And thus reverts to front side, where he doesn't have a UA. Back to Kai here. Kai with 4 gauge to his name, so I mean, Ride the Lightning is just a very, very potent option here. Should Kai run away, of course the other Ultra Sacred Edge performs quite well as well. But it's just going to be Banazama prepping. Very cool, very casual. Says, you gotta avoid my dive like somehow. Looks like VGma wants to reshuffle. Get those options back. Well, I'm not really sure what options were down. But, hey, get those options back. Whatever was there, get those options back. Back to Banazama here. Would not be shocked to see Banazama just go for a raw strike here. Full hand. Has gained advantage if he hits. Leo down to 5 HP as well. Like, Leo basically needs dive or block to avoid the Ride Lightning, right? Nothing else works. Yeah, nothing else works. I mean, Ride Lightning has 8 defenses. But it's taking its time on deciding how to close the game out. Oh, I left my top menu. There we go. It's gonna be a hope cancel. Just takes middle. Takes middle. Why does it take middle? I have no idea. Is he not striking with Ride Lightning? Like he's taking middle. Anyway, just initiates a strike. I mean, technically, Ride the Lightning would have hit what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If Leo were somehow to end up like there, that Ride Lightning would miss. But surely Leo doesn't have a retreat 6 in his kit. But maybe just taking middle just in case this strike goes awry. But this is the big threat that we're looking out for. It could just be sweep, honestly. Could just be sweep or focus. But no, it is the Ride Lightning, which will go first. Will hit for 5 after armor. Unfortunately, focus is not enough armor to withstand the Ride Lightning, and that's going to be it. It's going to be Banazama taking game number 1 with the Kai over the Leo. Definitely a game of... Oh, wow, Leo had EX Focus too? Why did Leo not play EX Focus? Leo's probably dead the next strike with just sweep in hand, but why did Leo not play EX Focus? EX Focus would have lived in, well, 1 strike. But, anyway, that's going to be game 1 going to Banazama. Of course, this is a best of 3. The matchups have been predetermined. I believe the next one is going to be Mei versus Hazama. Mei, of course, a character we've not had the pleasure of casting before. Hazama we probably casted in the past. Give me 1 second. I will be back in 30 seconds. Alright, this is going to be game 2. We have May for vgma. When you initiate a strike, you may spend 1 force for +1 power. And this becomes +2 power on backside. So, pretty potent character. Very rush down, unga bunga, no brain type character. And we have Hazma here. So Hazma on UA can spend a force to basically, as not as a before effect, but before even abilities are in play, Hazma can just move, right? Can move 1 at the cost of 1 force, and he can also fake this ability, notably. Now we take a look at the kits here. We have a range 4 assault. We have like a fireball that's on curve, but it also has some defenses on it. We have like a dive like, but can be a functional mid speed at range 1 to 2, especially paired with the UA. We have a SPD shape, actually, interesting. And we have a sweep like here. This looks like vgma just preps. For ultras, we have Metsushoryu with way less power. We have this Treasure Knight card. We have Anger Call, except way less power. This ultra doesn't seem very good, but I mean, has its useless, but 6 power is a little bit low. Hazma, of course, will boost Serpent's Redemption. Your force costs are reduced by 1, and this character has a ton of force costs, right? That's a force cost. He has 3 force specials. 4 specials for those of you that are unaware, because maybe you're coming with the Guilty Gear set. 4 specials are cards that are like ultras, except they cost a force. They can be invalidated like ultras, which makes Hazma's wild swings unusually, like, really consistent. It also has force costs with the actual UA as well, right? It's going to be May boosting Badass. Next attack's EX. We'll take a look at Hazma's kit here. Hazma's above curve range 3 option. This one's known as a whirl because it's basically beats all the normals, right? With the push up to 1, beats sweep as well. An on curve range 3 option. So right off the bat, we can see Hazma's a good range 3 character. An on curve range 4 option. Good boost on that. We have an ignore armor option at 6 power, so notably beats both focus and notably beats focus. Doesn't beat sweep unless you EX it or add additional power. We have kind of a slow 1 to 3, but has 4 armor, but gets lost if trading against something slower. We have Metsu Shoryuken. We have strictly better Metsu Shoryuken for 4 gauge ultra here, and we have a speed 6 option that hits 2 to 4, and that can be pumped up to a total of 8 power with force suspension. Although Hazma is one of those characters where really you can't go wrong with how you spend your resources. It's going to be vgma setting that Ouroboros at range 3. For free, of course, with the Serpent's Redemption. So, I mean, the major threat to look out for is the Falling Fang, but this could just be a mix-up as well, right? It could just be something like a cross. But it is the Falling Fang. The Ouroboros is real. So how this resolves is the first... May will go first. We'll miss because Hazma is now at range 3. We'll cross out to range 5, and then Hazma will miss. Does not have to pay a force because, of course, the Serpent's Benediction was boosted. So May at range 5 does not have any options, right? Hazma does not have any options at range 5 either. Hazma is kind of the king of that range 3 area. It's going to be May boosting the Let's Rock. Now draw 1, hit +1 power, add to gauge. Of course, Hazma being a Season 5 character has the normal boosts. The normal Season 1 through 5 boosts. So it has Light, Fierce, etc, etc. It's going to be May boosting Energetic, +1 speed, now advance 1. Now May can actually hit, as can Hazma, right? May can hit with the Tatsugeki or with the Arisugawa Sparkle. Let's Rock, pretty critical boost here for May, just because I think May's probably another character where you probably just want to be rushing that Exceed. But it's going to be Banazama denying that second gauge by teching the Let's Rock. Makes sense to me. I mean, Mei already has the above curve range 4 option in the Tatsugeki. So this makes perfect sense to me. Well, it looks like vgma are probably going to be initiating a strike. Notably, all these options lose sweep. Notably Tatsugeki, Arugosagawa, Sparkle, and Dive, or they all get traded by with sweep. They all get traded by with sweep. That's not proper English, but you know what I'm going for. And in fact, Banazama does counterattack with sweep. So the Urusagawa Sparkle will go first. We'll hit for 3. We'll close 1. We'll draw 1. And then the sweep will hit back for 6. Or we'll hit back for 4, excuse me, after armor. Yeah, that card has 2 armor on it. It's not the worst trade in the world. 3 for 4, draw 1, discard 1. I don't know what card was discarded, unfortunately. I kind of missed it, but hopefully it was an important card. Made an outreach 3, which is kind of where Hazama wants to be at. In fact, it's going to be to check out my snake, draw 3, and strike. Hazama with 1 Falling Fang down, notably. But Mei has no above curve range 3 options, right? So non-curve range 3 option will perform just fine here if you're Hazama. Can obviously also just mix it up with a spike. Mix it up with those Ouroboroses as well, although now they cost a force, so maybe not. It's going to be Hazama putting that Ouroboros at range 2 and striking, so threatening something like a cross. Cross spike mix-up is what I'm looking for here for Hazama. It's actually going to be Hazama playing a fake one, and just plays on-curve assault, so 4 power incoming. Mei just plays block, can spend a force to negate 2 more damage, and spends the dive to do so. Interesting, so now we've learned something new about Hazama, Banazama's Hazama, willing to play the fake Ouroboros. Not every Hazama is willing to play the fake Ouroboros, but Banazama is, interestingly enough. Anyway, it's going to be the Having Fun Yet boosted. Spend it to 5 force. The opponent must discard that many cards at random. Then you may strike. Just like when I say Hazama can spend his resources however he wants to and have a generally successful result, this boost is one of the reasons why. Right? This boost is just another way that Hazama can spend his resources. Hazama can overdrive, Hazama can play ultras, and they're all good. Anyway, it's going to be Hazama initiating cross, but the Wild Swing Arusagawa Sparkle will hit back. Wow. So the cross will go first, will hit for 1, and the Wild Swing second copy of the Arusagawa Sparkle will hit back for 3. So good Wild Swing there from Mei. Builds her 3rd gauge as well. vgma taking a look at that Exceed side. But decides to prepare instead. Hazama at range 3, but only 2 cards in hand, so surely will have to prep as well. And does just that. Back to Mei. Looks like Mei prepares once more. And Hazama boosts Defend. +1 armor, +3 guard. Oops, apologies to vgma. He got a little bit of a lag spike there, but hopefully that gets resolved shortly. Luckily, we are just playing a card game, so it's not the end of the world. vgma now will exceed, now that he has a fuller hand. And we take a look at the succeed side. When you exceed, draw 2 and strike, so May does have a kicker. And when you initiate strike, you may spend 1 force if you do plus 2 power. Just absolutely bonkers, right? Obviously, it's very card intensive, right? You spend 2 cards per initiation, basically. But free plus 2 power on anything is just pretty good. And it's going to be May spending the grasp to initiate strike at range 3. Of course, Hazama does have the above curve option in where is it? The Falling Fang. But it's going to be the Anchor Swing, which will go first and will hit for 7. Will hit for 6. Of course, Sweep is not stunned at the very least. Sweep will go ahead and hit back for 6. And let me go ahead and fix that before they put another card in the discard there. I think that's the source of that duplication glitch that was happening around next year, so go ahead and nip that in the bud. May builds 2 gauge off that strike, which is important because it's an expensive character. It's going to be Hazama boosting the Devouring Fang for the Bloody Fangs. Now draw 1. If the opponent is stunned, draw 2. So good boost with a potentially really good upside. Back to May here. May will boost, what is it, Revolver Action? No. Whatever it's Ken Boost called. What was it? I can't remember what Ken's Boost is called. Well, whatever. It's now draw 2, hit gain advantage. A boost seen in Season 3, Season 5, and now Season 7. What is Ken's called? I can't remember. Why can't I remember? Custom Combo. It's called Custom Combo. Hazama just preps. Back to May here. Hit gain advantage is great for May. Almost assuredly going to strike here. With no speed boosts in play on either side. Obviously, he does not want to get stunned out. So we'll spend the force, tack on that plus 2 power, and initiate a strike from hands. Range 2, we're looking at options like cross, and it is the cross. Fortunately, Hazama plays the on-curve Falling Fang. We'll have to validate that as well. And we'll take 5 damage and we'll be stunned out. May gains advantage. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And also now Hazama is out of Falling Fangs, so that range 3 supremacy is gone until, of course, Hazama builds gauge number 3, in which case Eternal Coils of the Dragon Serpent is also an above curve range 3 option. So we may boosting that second copy of Energetic. That's plus 1 speed, now advance 1. We'll cancel it, of course. Strikes. So we're looking at Dive, and we're looking at Tatsugeki. Strikes should spend a force, almost assuredly. Especially if it's a Tatsugeki. Spends force, and yeah. Banazama just blocks, but it's going to be a 6 power Tatsugeki incoming. We'll push Hazama back to range 3 and gains advantage as well. Hazama spends the second copy of Devouring Fang and takes 2 damage, down to just 10 HP. Once again, it is vgma's advantage. And May doing May things. Hazama only down to 2 cards, but now May has to be concerned about the second copy of the Eternal Coils of the Dragon Serpent. Ooh, but boosts Disaster Passion, so now is threatening above curve assault as well. It's plus 1 power, plus 1 speed. Now draw 1. It's Swift with a now draw 1 on it. Good boost. Very good boost. Can't be cancelled, but still a very good boost. Banazama just preps. Will vgma just press the go button here once more? Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. 4 in hand, 4 in deck for May. 4 in hand, 8 in deck for Hazama. So May's options are becoming a little bit known, a little bit scarce. But pretty sure there's slashes in there. I'm pretty sure there's a Tatsugeki in there as well. So surely May just strikes here with something. It's going to be a strike, attacking on +2 power with a dive. So it's a +3/+1 strike into Hazama. Hazama has the second block. So, I mean, still 7 power Tatsugeki. Hazama spends 2 forces of the form of Cross and Assault, notably both from hand. So threatening that Serpent's Infernal Rapture will take 1 damage. But this Ultra, second copy, I believe, is still up for Hazama. It's vgma's turn once more, because Tatsugeki gains advantage, of course. Is vgma thinking about striking into this? I mean, only 1 card in hand, so... Oh, but the 1 card in hand is the Serpent's Infernal Rapture! Oh no, May just goes a little bit too far in, and gets hit by the Serpent's Infernal Rapture. That's going to be 7 damage, stunning out the sweep. Oh no, if this was a focus, then I would agree with this decision, but striking with sweep's a little bit frisky there. Oh, okay, no. Okay, so Banazama preps. I thought vgma took 2 turns in a row, but Banazama prepped. vgma reshuffles, boost faultless defense. vgma reshuffles, Banazama preps. May boost faultless this time, and Banazama preps once more. So a hand of 6 now, 6 in hand, 2 in deck. Very healthy hand. vgma with the change cards 2, drawing 3. It's going to be the Vengeful Viper boosted, so you mean play and sustain the top boost continues boost from your discard. A boost you don't see a whole lot, but it's just like a really, really strong boost. Just like an incredibly, incredibly strong boost. I wonder what's on top here for Banazama. We actually don't know, but this boost is insane. Like, it's so good. I don't know why they gave this to Hazama, but like, okay, fine. I guess I kind of asked myself a lot of questions when it comes to Hazama. Like, why did they give Hazama this? Why did they give Hazama this? But hey, strong character, very, very strong character. Back to May here. Hazama's options should be extremely known by now. 6 in hand, 1 in deck. Whereas May is just reshuffled. So May could have whatever. So be May boosting Badass. Cancelled. And probably just striking here. Could be any range 1 option. Makes sense. Spends for +2 power as well. Both Hazama blocks are down. So Hazama is going to have difficulty not taking damage here in a lot of cases, unless May plays a mid-speed option, right? Surely it's not a random overhead kiss coming out. Surely it's not. But this is +3 power, +1 speed, +1 armor, +1 guard. It's going to be Hazama attempting to grasp it, but it's an on-curve cross. Grasp, yeah, I feel like Grasp is not winning a lot of combats there. Trying to call out something like an assault or slash, excuse me, but that's not going to pan out. It's going to be a 6 damage cross, and May moves back to range 4 and deals 6 damage to Hazama. Hazama now just down to 3 life, and at the end of the day, like, Hazama was probably just running out of options and just had to go for the grasp just because there's really nothing left. Both blocks are down. A lot of options for Hazama are down, so maybe that's why he goes for the cross. Can't even like wild swing off the top either, because that, unless this is the second copy of the Ultra, it wouldn't trigger the reshuffle anyway. At the very least, May only has 2 cards, but May does have an above curve range 4 option, the Tatsugeki, right? Both of those were shuffled back into the deck, I believe. At least one, if not both of them. Hazama checks the last card in his deck. Once again, 5 in hand, 1 in deck for Hazama. 2 in hand, and a whole bunch in deck for May. Unfortunately, Hazama's playing, Banazama's playing a Season 5 character. One of the upsides and downsides of Season 5 characters is that you have this Astral, right? Astrals are normally good. Unfortunately, when it comes to reshuffling, Astrals are a little bit slow, right? Because you get this Astral, which is a card that essentially does nothing in your hand for your opponent's turn. So your opponent can strike into this, although Hazama can just prep to get out of that, so not the biggest deal in the world. But if Hazama were to reshuffle, gets the Hungry Darkness of 1,000 souls in his hand, which has notably like a very good boost on it, right? His burst, draw to steal this and take another action, but is a little bit slow because your opponent can respond before you even get a chance to play this card, right? So that's the little bit of a downside when it comes to having Astrals in your kit, is that if you need to reshuffle right away, you're just stuck with a card that you potentially don't really want. But of course, Banazama can just prep to get out of that. It is Banazama's turn. He's really taking his time here, trying to decide what's the best option to attempt to make this comeback. It's going to be boosting the Serpent's Benediction with Now You May Strike if you do the opponent sets their card first. So basically just trying to see if May would set a Tatsugeki from hand. Looks like. Normally Tatsugeki would not kill against Focus. I think Hazama might have a copy of Focus left. But maybe just trying to see if May would Wild Swing here, I think. If May does Wild Swing, then maybe Hazama plays something like a Venom Sword. Oh, will Ouroboros actually. Ouroboros to range 3. Plays the Hungry Coils. The Great Yamada attack will not suffice here. Slash on curve loses to the Hungry Coils. Hungry Coils will discard a card at random. Of course, Serpent's Benediction has the force cost reduction on it, so Ouroboros is free there. An option that I previously neglected, but Banazama shows right away that Hazama could strike from range 3 there. Drops the dive out of the hand of May. I think Banazama should be shuffling these way more than he is, but whatever. Maybe big change cards here coming for Banazama. That's an expenditure of 4 force to draw 5 cards. The hand is EX Focus and a Venom Sword. So good defense there. Like, notably good defense there. And we'll draw 3 cards off the top. Or 4 cards off the top, excuse me. 3 and then 1 for end of turn. Banazama should really be shuffling this hand. And not organizing it such that the EX Focus is just right here. Then like the Ouroboros right here, right? So this is something you gotta be doing as a tournament player, right? You can't just hold your hand like this, right? This is EX Focus. This is what the Venom Sword. This is the real Ouroboros. This is the fake Ouroboros. Like, you gotta shuffle your hand. Surely May just has to prep here. Maybe a world where May doesn't prep is if like May has drawn the Grasp and you just kind of go for it. But the thing is, Grasp does not kill through EX Focus, right? So Banazama is almost assuredly playing EX Focus on defense if he doesn't have block. Or maybe May has a sweep and tries to swing with a sweep. To bait out EX Focus and win the game that way. But the safer option is just prepare, and that's what vgma does. Back to Banazama here. Banazama boosts that Serpent's Redemption. Force cost reduced by 1. Now move 2. Moves to his favorite range. Range 3 makes perfect sense to me. Those above curve Falling Fangs are now back in the deck for vgma, or for Banazama, excuse me. So this makes perfect sense to me. Now it's something that May is going to have to be concerned about. She tries to finish Hazama off. It's going to be May boosting the Gatling. Now draw 2, hit gain advantage. Cannot be cancelled, so just has to draw an end turn. It's going to be Hazma popping Fierce onto his next attack. +2 power. You just saw Nukemi go down. Makes sense to me. Now the threat is what? 5 damage, Falling Fang, or a mix-up. Notably, Falling Fang does not lose a sweep in this position, so maybe Hazma is more keen on playing the mix-up side to pop a sweep. Because Falling Fang beats sweep via pushing, and of course May's in the corner. It's gonna be May boosting Badass. Will this be cancelled? It will be cancelled. And now May can match Hazma on speed. And striking, almost assuredly this is on curve. Right. Slash is 7 damage. Tatsugeki is also 7 damage. Both of them blast through their defenses of EX Focus. So Hazma just needs block, basically, assuming this is the on-curve option. Wow. Maychop's assault from hand. Maychop's slash from hands. Spicy. Spicy drop there. Banazama just goes for the wild swing. Sweep is probably not going to do it. And it is the Tatsugeki for May. Speed 6 takes game number 2. Beats Hazama. So it looks like we are going to game number 3 here. Exciting stuff. Score is now 1-1, of course. For game number 3, vgma will be bringing out the Bang Shishigami, and Banazama going to be bringing out the Soul Bad Guy for the rubber match here. Again, both these players trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. I think they're both 0-1 if I'm not mistaken. So Soul Bad Guy we've seen quite a bit of. Melee kind of, he's a melee bruiser type character that plays mix-ups. Bang Shishigami, a character we've seen a lot in the past, although we've not seen Bang in a while, I will say. So we'll take a look at Bang's kit here. So Bang has 4 specials. Bang Style Shuriken for 1/4 to win the strike. Unstoppable Palm Thrust, a very good range 2 option, has guard on it as well. When EX is on curve, gets you advantage. You can choose positioning afterward. You have an ignore guard option at 1-2 for mix-ups. Larger than life, also good boost. PBJ is that 2-5 shape that we were talking about, similar to the spinning bird kick. But it's a 2-5 slow. Slow dive, but functions similarly to what, like a 2-5 fireball, right? A speed 9 ultra, because why not? Good boost on that. Hyper Shadow Step Strike, a little bit of a trick shot ultra, but we've seen these hit before. I wonder if vgma goes for it. I think we've seen vgma play Bang once, but I can't remember if he goes for this. Fatal Eruption, just a solid mid-speed ultra. No one uses that astral very much. Anyway, Bang's Yue on front side. He gets a little bit more of a consistent prepare action. Can basically filter through the top 2, grab 1, discard the other. So it goes through his deck a little bit faster to get to the options that he wants. It's gonna be Bang initiating strike at range 4. Range 4 options for Bang include Bang Style Shuriken, Pulverizing Blast Jutsu, and Dive. Or it could just be Fake Out, Sweep, Focus. Soul notably has a range 4 sweep-like, or a guarded dive, I guess. And the Night Raid Vortex, 1, 4, 2, 6. And it's exactly what's going to be played here for Soul. And vgma is what? What's going on here? vgma is playing PBJ. So PBJ will go first. We'll hit 4 or 5. Night Raid Vortex will hit back for 3. Soul will draw a card, but we'll find Bang at range 1. It's going to be Soul boosting the Faultless defense, +4 guard. Back to vgma here. Range 1, Bang, of course, does represent the ignore guard option, although I don't think we're going to be seeing him play raw. It's be vgma using that UA. Look at the top 2 cards of the deck, draw 1, discard the other. Great way of filtering through a deck and getting the options that you need at a faster rate. Drops the Assault and draws 2. Back to Soul here. Soul builds Gauge number 2 right away and boosts second Faultless. If Bang doesn't strike, we could see an early Exceed from Soul. And of course, Soul on front side is scary enough with +1 power, but on back side, +2 power becomes that much scarier. Bang initiates a strike here at range 1. Just could be slow normal, fast normal, could be cross. It's Soul actually diving over the slow, denying Gauge for both players. Soul moves to range 3. At range 3, Soul does have a couple cool options. Gunflame is just better assault in a lot of worlds. Fafnir is a mid-speed option that can be bumped up to 7 if you cancel it with a power boost. Bandit Bringer is additional spike-like as well. So Soul does have some good options at range 3, which is where we are at. Looks like Banazama just prepped, so it's back to vgma here. Wow, I didn't realize, but these 2 characters have very similar hairstyles. very weeb hairstyles going on here. Bang, of course, when he gets a 4 gauge, gets his super duper, like his super good Exceed side, which gives him recursion, and then the recursions benefit him because he gets EXs as well. Looks like we see a parry coming out here. Parry whiffs. We see a hand of 027. The Unstoppable Palm Thrust, the second copy of the Polarizing Blast Jutsu, and the Hyper Shadow Step Strike. Please shuffle your hand. Please shuffle your hand. Please shuffle your hand. Alright, I guess we don't believe in shuffling your hands. That's okay. But you really should. You really ought to be shuffling your hand. In Dormant. Speed change cards 3, drawing 4. Interesting, because normally you only see the change cards dropping the normals when your opponent has reading, but Soul does not have access to reading. You're getting rid of Light. Light's an incredibly strong boost into Season 7. I do not agree with this play. I do not agree with this play one bit. Light is such a good boost, man, into Season 7. Because they can't, like, Soul especially, Soul only has Badass. Soul Badass is the only form, I mean, technically there's Flame of Corruption, but those are the only forms of breaking the speed curve for Soul. But Light is just so good, man. So seeing vgma drop this Light, not a fan of it. Drops the Fierce as well. Oof, not a fan. This would be Soul spending 2 force in the form of the Heavy Mob Cemetery to move to range 1. Soul, of course, that Bruiser archetype. Range 1 is a good place to be if you're Soul. Looks like it's gonna be Bang initiating a strike. Normally we used to know a lot of Bang's hand, but since then most of the cards have been dropped. We know that there's a PBJ. We know that there's a Unstoppable Palm Thrust, and we know that there is a Hyper Shadow Step Strike in that hand. vgma finally shuffles the hand, so that's good. Maybe we're just waiting for a strike to shuffle the hand. It's just going to be Bang sending a rush strike here at range 1. Fast, slow. Even Unstoppable Palm Thrust does okay. And it's just the Unstoppable Palm Thrust. We'll go first. We'll hit for 4. Looks like Soul just Wild Swings. Hits the sweep, and we'll hit back for 6. We'll get a card as well. Grabs the Spike. Bang does get advantage off this. We'll push Push Soul to range 3. And we'll Bang prep. Drops a second copy of Unstoppable Palm Thrust. Of course, that's okay, because there's an Unstoppable Palm Thrust in here, which of course means that Bang can recur it on backside, because when he drops the card from his overdrive to his discard pile, he gets to pick up both copies if they're available. Anyway, it's going to be soul boosting free. Moving, says move up to 2, moves up to range 1. No surprise there. Bang is halfway to building the 4 specials needed for the Hyper Shadow Step Strike. Needs just the Bang Style Shuriken and the Void Tempest Kick. Of course, these can be of course, the Bang Style Shuriken can just boost the Void Tempest Kick. And then suddenly Bang is all 4 specials in the discard. But it's going to be Bang initiating yet another strike at range 1. Banazama just going for the Wild Swing once more. It's just sweep into focus. 4 for 4. Ooh, pulls the Bang Style Shuriken out of the hand. Good pull. vgma, of course, gets to draw a card. Soul now has 4 gauge. Soul has a kicker of... He strikes when he exceeds, so now basically Soul can play a boost from hand, cancel, and exceed to have +2 power and strike, and have +2 power when he cancels for the rest of the game. Is this an option that Soul will be going for? It seems early enough in the game that doesn't seem like the worst way to spend your gauge if you're Soul. You don't really get too many opportunities where you have this much gauge this early on in the game, so would not be shocked if Soul went for that option. But a lot of Souls do just like staying on front side because it's tough building those resources and not spending them. But Banazama has been building these resources relatively freely. So, yeah, let's see how he chooses to spend them. Goes for the parry. Parry whiffs once more. We see a hand of 4/6 Void Tempest Kick, Polarizing Blast Jutsu, and EX Hyper Shadow Step Strike. Okay. Wonder what was parried then. Maybe second copy of Blast Bang Style Shuriken. Notably, both blocks are down, so if vgma was ever to build up the 4 specials in gauge, that EX Hyper Shadow Strike, normally an 8 gauge ultra, would be free. Would be free 9 damage. And with Banazama down to 17, that is almost a concern, something to be concerned about, I would say. Could be a potential game closer for vgma. Ooh, boosts the larger than life. Okay. So betting it all on this strike. It's going to be the find your one way, hit +1 power, draw 2, canceled into an EX attack. What EX could this be? You don't really know. This EX has +2 power on it. It's EX Volcanic Viper, just gets blocked. So this is going to be what? It's going to be 4, 6, 7 total power. With hit draw 2 on it as well. Bang just of course blocks it. Unfortunately, this means that the larger than life does not go to gauge, so it's a little bit of it's not a little bit, it's a big waste, unfortunately. Bang drops dive. And a Hyper Shadow Step Strike to not take any damage, or to take 0 damage, yeah. Builds gauge number 4, but maybe you don't want to be a recurring block. Maybe you want to wait until you get a higher value recursion, possibly. Notably, I've been kind of stressing that Bang should go for this Hyper Shadow Step Strike, not required in any sense of the character. Like, this character is strong enough without this ultra. So if you are a budding, aspiring Bang player, which I don't know why you'd be, I mean, it's 2 seasons old, but if you're a Bang player, you don't necessarily have to go for the 4 ultras in gauge. You will get, don't worry, you'll get more than enough value once you exceed without, even if you don't have all 4 ultras in gauge, don't worry. Anyway, it's back to Soul here. Soul has 4 gauge. Once more. Boost the Flame of Corruption does not cancel it. Flame of Corruption will make 1 to 4 sweeps. All the sweeps are down. We'll make 1 to 4 gun flames. I don't know. We'll make 1 to 4. We'll make 1 to 5 Night Ray Vortexes. I don't know. I mean, it has +2 power, and it's gonna be vgma going for the Exceed. So when Bang exceeds, he strikes. Of course, his EX attacks at +1 power. And look at that overdrive. Return all copies of the discarded card from your discard pile to hand. So we're going to be seeing some big recursion here. It's going to be the Bennett Bringer. The Bennett Bringer will miss. Well, actually, the Void Temp, the VTK will go first. Will hit for 4. The Bennett Bringer actually just gets stunned out. VTK will yoink focus out of the hand of Soul, and will draw a card as well. Just going for the raw range 1 VTK. And Banazama going for a little bit of a read there says, I think you're going to cross out. But that was not the case. Interestingly, vgma did not wait to exceed. Could have gotten that VTK in the gauge and then just exceeded next turn, but I mean, we'll recur EX Focus. I'm pretty sure all the cards in here, the second copy's in the discard, so we'll just recur 4 EXs, which is incredibly strong. Like, just so good. It's so good, man. Bang's so good. And of course, those EXs have +1 power as well, just in case it wasn't enough. Banazama preps. So now we have the overdrive action. Bang will return both copies of PBJ, that's Polarizing Blast Jutsu, to hand. Notably a card that misses at range 1, but... Oh, actually the second copy is in the hand. Okay, so we'll return 1 copy of that. Fortunately, Polarizing Blast Jutsu, not a card that hits, but that's okay. It's going to be Bang initiating a strike here in range 1. A little spooky. Not an EX, so it does not have a +1 power on it. Wonder what this is. Is this like second copy of Polarizing Blast Jutsu? Is this cross or I wonder what this is. It's gonna be Soul attempting to cross out, and it is it is the spiciest assault you'll ever see. Just a range 1 random assault. Will do no good. Soul will hit for 3. And it is now back to Banazama here. Really spicy assault there, in my opinion. Especially when you're like when you're partially telegraphing cross, going for assault there is interesting, because cross and assault kind of lose to the same things. But, wow, okay. Anyway, it's to be Banazama prepping once more at range 4 now. It's a little bit further away than he would like to be. It's back to vgma. vgma gets another overdrive tick. I believe has focus, block, and unstoppable palm thrust in that overdrive area, if I'm not mistaken. So picks up the unstoppable palm thrust. I believe second copy of that is in the discard. Yep. So we'll pick up EX Unstoppable Palm Thrust, put that in the hand. Of course, an option that doesn't hit right now. We'll strike with a singular card once more. Banksal Shuriken, perhaps? Dive? What? Okay. Strikes with Dive. Dive will go first, hit for 5. The Night Raid Vortex will hit back for 4. Passing turn to Soul, who has now 6 gauge. There's a lot of resources, and I feel like we should have exceeded a long time ago, but... Don't know if Soul's gonna get to use all this 6 gauge, but surely this turn from Soul we see a boost, cancel, exceed, strike. With +2 power. Surely that's what happens this turn. Surely, surely that's what happens this turn. Soul has 7 cards in hand, 7 cards in deck. Surely we can come up with a strike here for Soul that involves that line. I would be shocked if Soul does not do that line. Well, maybe Soul's afraid just because Soul has 8 HP, Bang has 10. Maybe that's why Banazama is afraid here. Doesn't want to lose the game outright, and I mean, fair enough. But surely has multiple power boosts. Can build a strike that does 10 damage. Surely, honestly, with 6 gauge and 7 cards in hand, almost assuredly can build a strike that way. Anyway, it's going to be Smell of the Game boosted. Will be cancelled. +1 power adds to gauge. And yeah, here comes the Exceed for Soul. And when Soul exceeds, he strikes. And since he canceled this turn, he has +3 power on this strike. Is vgma just thinking of responding with EXPBJ? EXPBJ has 8 defenses at speed 3. So technically trades with the card like Fafnir. So trades with 5 power cards. Huh, actually, just loses to the Wild Throw is the issue. Yeah, loses hard to Wild Throw, but beats kind of everything else. Does the EX PBJ. So, I mean, that's probably the mix-up that we're looking for here. Is Soul playing second copy of Wild Throw or not? EX Unstoppable Palm Thrust loses to Grasp, but beats kind of a lot of other cards. Loses to Grasp, but basically beats everything else. Unfortunately for vgma, so vgma recurred PBJ, didn't use it. Recurred Unstoppable Palm Thrust, hasn't used it yet. I want to recur that block soon, although block still loses to the Wild Throw. But hey, block has parry on it. Okay, it's just going to be vgma. Looks like he's going to be setting that EXPBJ. And it's just the slash from... Oh, okay, it's just slash from Soul here. So the slash is going to go first. We'll hit for 5 after armor. And the Pulverizing Blast Jutsu will put Banazama at just 1 HP. Will hit for 7. Has before advance 3. And then after Bang can choose to pop out the corner if he wants. So we'll advance 8 to the corner, but then since he was hit, can advance or retreat up to 2. Choose to advance 2. Slash, of course, does gain an advantage for Banazama here. And wow, that's a shocking slash. That slash loses to the EX Unstoppable Palm Thrust that was picked up there. That was a big boy strike from Banazama there. That was a big boy strike there from Banazama. Wow. Wow. Right, because this is speed 6. Slash is only speed 5. So Unstoppable Palm Thrust would have been curtains there for Soul. It had vgma chosen to play it. Anyway, Soul of course gains advantage off the slash. So it's his turn once more. Good call. Oh, not the whole thing. Thank you, a tinge of twinge. Also welcome once more. There we go. Good catch. So now technically Soul can play Heavy Mob Cemetery. But anyway, it's going to be the Flame of Corruption boosted. Before close 1, if you close fewer than 1 space plus 2 power. And certainly this will be paired with the Strike. is this 7 power grasp. Or 5 power grasp, excuse me. This is a scary, scary, scary mix-up. Notably, there are so many options here for Soul that I feel like lose to EX Unstoppable Palm Thrust. This is speed 6. This card is pretty difficult to kill. Because if it's 5 power... Oh, it's EX though. Is this EX Grasp? If it's EX Grasp, that's exactly 6 power. And you cannot armor through it with a simple EX. You need a bigger EX. You need an EX with armor on it. Or you can focus. Looks like the Banazama is showing that the Wild Throw, it's not EX Wild Throw. I think it's just EX Grasp. It could be EX Fafnir. We haven't seen a Fafnir yet. Surely we're not playing EX Fafnir though. I'm like 99% sure we haven't seen Grasp yet. If we have seen Grasp, then this is probably... Oh, it could be Gunflame too, huh? EX Gunflame? We have not seen yet? We have not seen Gunflame, we have not seen Fafnir, and I feel like we've not seen Grasp. So there's a whole bunch of things this could be. EX Gunflame is also an option that beats EX UPT. Both blocks for Bang, I'm pretty sure, are down as well. So this could be curtains for vgma. I think both blocks are down. I don't know. Both focuses are down. Oh, that's a wild swing. Cross, and that's not going to do it. Speed 8 Grasp was basically unbeatable there. Yeah, was unbeatable. That's going to do it. Banazama takes it with just 1 HP left. Very, very close. Unfortunately, Bang recurred the wrong card here. In hindsight, just should have recurred block, but obviously, or even focus, right? And maybe things would have looked different. But unfortunately, this Unstoppable Palm Thrust, which was the second card recurred by Bang in his overdrive, just sat in hand and didn't do anything. Wasn't a relevant threat, which is unfortunate. Because if vgma had picked up focus or block, things might have looked a little bit different. But anyway, that's gonna be it. Banazama takes it in an absolute nail biter of a set, 2-1, with just 1 HP to his name, with the sole bad guy being the Bang Shishigami in Game 3. And yeah, we'll move on to 1-1. I think vgma drops to 0-2, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I think you're out of the money there. Is there money? I don't know if there's money. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did and you're on Twitch, feel free to leave a follow. On YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And we'll see you for the next one, whenever that may be. I don't know if there's a match tomorrow night. I will probably cast it. This weekend, I am busy basically all weekend, so I don't think I'll be able to catch any matches this weekend. But if there's a match tomorrow night, I will probably cast it. If not, look forward to more Guilty Gear Strive board game content next week. But until then, guys, take care and we'll see you soon. Bye.